The night was dark and quiet, except for the occasional forgetfulness of the wind. The moon, hidden by clouds, cast eerie shadows on an old mansion that stood on top of a hill overlooking the city. It was rumored that the mansion was haunted and everyone who entered it never came out again. Residents of the city avoided this place in every possible way, but curiosity got the better of a group of teenagers who decided to explore the mansion on Halloween night. They went to this place and now they have come to the door. The front door was locked, so they had to find another way in. After a little searching, they found a slightly ajar window and with a little effort were able to get inside. It was dark and musty inside the mansion. The only source of light was the flickering candle they had brought with them. The floor creaked under their feet, and the sound of their breathing, it turned out, was amplified in the silence. Teenagers walked through the mansion, exploring its numerous rooms and corridors. As they studied, they began to hear strange sounds. Footsteps, whispers, the sound of doors opening and closing. They tried to ignore it, telling themselves that it was just their imagination. But the sounds grew louder and more insistent. Suddenly one of the teenagers let out a scream and a ghostly figure appeared in front of them. She turned to run, but the doors mysteriously closed behind them, locking them inside. Panic seized the teenagers when they realized that they were not alone in the mansion. The ghostly figure led them into a terrible chase through the mansion, and the teenagers tried to find a way out. They heard the rattle of chains, the sound of a door slamming, and the laughter of a ghostly figure. Their hearts were pounding and they were wet with sweat, fleeing for their lives. Finally they came across a secret passage that led them to the basement, but when they went down the dark stairs, they heard a prophetic growling sound coming from the darkness. The sound grew louder and closer until it seemed to be right behind them. The teenagers turned to face the source of the sound and a monstrous creature appeared in front of them, whose eyes shone with some kind of otherworldly light. It rushed towards them. Sharp teeth gleamed in the candlelight. At that moment, the teenagers realized that they would not be able to get out alive. They clung to each other, screamed as the creature approached them. But just as she was about to attack, the ghostly figure reappeared. With a wave of her hand, she banished the creature back to the depths of hell from where it came. The doors of the mansion opened and the teenagers, trembling with fear, went outside. Returning to the city, they knew that they would never forget the horror of that night. The mansion remained empty and silent. But the memories of the ghostly figure and the monstrous creature did not leave them, haunting them in dreams and instilling terror.